The bond between BTS members has always been one of the most captivating aspects of their story. Beyond the dazzling stages, sold-out concerts, and record-breaking achievements, it is the depth of their friendships and the sincerity they show toward each other that captures the hearts of millions worldwide. Among these powerful connections, the relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung V holds a special place. Recently, an unexpected event unfolded that left both the members and their fans in tears. Jungkook prepared a heartfelt surprise for Taehyung, one that was so raw, emotional, and genuine that it stunned everyone present. What seemed like an ordinary gathering soon turned into one of the most memorable and tear-inducing moments in BTS history. This article dives deep into that unforgettable scene, exploring the background of their bond, the context behind Jungkook's surprise, the reactions of fans and members, and the wider meaning of such moments in the BTS journey. Divided into multiple chapters, it will uncover the layers of emotions, nostalgia, and love that turned a simple gesture into a viral, once-in-a-lifetime memory. From the very beginning of BTS's story, Jungkook and Taehyung's friendship has fascinated fans. Their chemistry isn't manufactured. It's natural, built through years of living, working, and dreaming together. When Jungkook joined BTS as the youngest member at only 15 years old, he was shy, reserved, and somewhat overwhelmed by the weight of becoming an idol. Taehyung, just 2 years older, became one of the first people to break through Jungkook's quiet exterior. Their shared mischievousness, playful banter, and mutual respect slowly evolved into an unshakable bond. Fans have often noted how Jungkook looks at Taehyung not just as a friend, but as a confidant. Over the years, this relationship matured into something resembling brotherhood, filled with care, occasional disagreements, but always reconciliation and growth. The entertainment world can sometimes paint a glamorous but isolating picture. Behind the cameras, idols often feel pressure, loneliness, and exhaustion. In those moments, BTS members rely on one another for strength. Jungkook's surprise for Taehyung was not just a spontaneous act, it was the culmination of years of shared hardships, silent encouragement, and unspoken promises of "I've got your back, no matter what." The story of that surprise cannot be told without acknowledging this deep brotherhood. It was more than just an emotional gesture. It was a public display of love and gratitude that resonated with fans because they knew it came from a place of truth. The moment that left fans worldwide in shock didn't happen on a grand stage with flashing lights. It unfolded in a far more intimate setting. Sometimes, the most powerful memories are not created in front of thousands of screaming fans, but in the quiet spaces where sincerity shines through. BTS had gathered for what initially appeared to be a casual celebration. The atmosphere was warm and lighthearted. Music played softly in the background, laughter filled the room, and the members were teasing one another in the playful way only brothers can. The event was not part of a concert nor a promotional shoot. It was private, exclusive, and personal, a gathering where masks could be removed and vulnerability could breathe freely. A carefully planned gesture. Unknown to Taehyung, Jungkook had been preparing something deeply personal for weeks. Unlike flashy birthday gifts or grand events, Jungkook's plan was rooted in emotion rather than spectacle. He wanted to express feelings that words often failed to capture: the gratitude, admiration, and love he held for his Hyung. Friends close to Jungkook had noticed his unusual quietness in the days leading up to the event. While Jungkook is often shy with words, his actions have always spoken volumes. This time, however, he wanted his heart to be understood not just by Taehyung but by everyone present. Behind the scenes, Jungkook collaborated with staff and even some of the members to ensure the surprise would remain a secret. He rehearsed a short performance, prepared a heartfelt message, and handpicked small yet meaningful details that reflected their journey together. The atmosphere turns. As the evening continued, members joked and shared stories. Taehyung, unaware of what was coming, was in high spirits, singing along to songs, laughing at Jin's witty comments, and playfully teasing Jimin. The environment felt like a family gathering rather than a professional event. Then, the lights dimmed. At first, Taehyung thought it was simply part of the ambience. But when Jungkook stepped forward with a microphone in his hand, the room grew still. Conversations hushed, eyes turned, and the anticipation built. Even the members, though partially aware something was planned, didn't expect what was about to unfold. The surprise was about to begin. A silence filled with expectation. There is a kind of silence that carries weight, one that doesn't feel empty but rather overflowing with anticipation. That was the silence in the room when Jungkook looked at Taehyung. His gaze wasn't playful, nor was it casual. It was steady, filled with emotion, and it immediately caught Taehyung's attention. For fans who later saw the recordings, it was clear this was not a rehearsed interaction for show. It was genuine, almost raw. Taehyung's playful smile slowly softened as he realized something meaningful was happening. His eyes locked on Jungkook, searching for answers in the younger member's expression. Jungkook then cleared his throat, his voice slightly shaky, not from lack of ability, but from the weight of emotion. And with that, he began the heartfelt surprise that would leave not only Taehyung but everyone present in tears. When Jungkook lifted the microphone, the room seemed to shrink in size. It was as though the walls themselves leaned closer, holding their breath to catch every word and every note. For years, fans have admired Jungkook's flawless vocals, his ability to command any stage with confidence. But this time, his voice carried something different. It wasn't about technical perfection. It was about vulnerability. The Song of Memories. Jungkook began singing a song that held deep meaning for both him and Taehyung. It wasn't one of BTS's chart-topping hits or a flashy anthem meant for arenas. Instead, it was a softer ballad, chosen because of its intimacy. The lyrics spoke of friendship, loyalty, and the kind of love that survives through trials. As his voice filled the room, every syllable seemed directed at Taehyung. The melody carried years of laughter, countless sleepless nights of practice, and moments when words had failed but presence had been enough. Jungkook's choice was deliberate. He wanted Taehyung to feel every emotion they had shared throughout their journey. The members listened in silence, some already struggling to hold back tears. Jimin placed a hand over his chest, visibly touched. RM closed his eyes, nodding gently with the rhythm, while Jin's usually cheerful expression softened into one of quiet reflection. Taehyung's reaction. At first, Taehyung smiled, his signature boxy grin, filled with warmth. But as Jungkook continued, the smile began to waver. His eyes grew glassy, his lips trembled slightly, and his gaze never left Jungkook. Taehyung has always been open with his emotions, whether it's joy, mischief, or sadness. In that moment, fans and members alike saw his heart completely exposed. He pressed his hands together, as if trying to contain the flood of feelings, but the effort was futile. A single tear rolled down his cheek, followed quickly by another. Jungkook noticed, and though his own voice quivered, he did not stop. In fact, he seemed to sing with even more passion, as if each tear from Taehyung was proof that his message was being understood. Beyond words. When the song ended, the silence was deafening. For a brief moment, no one moved. Jungkook lowered the microphone, his chest rising and falling with the weight of his emotions. His eyes glistened, though he fought to keep the tears at bay. Then, with a shaky voice, he spoke. "Hyung," he began softly, "I don't always say what I feel. Sometimes I hide behind jokes or just stay quiet. But I want you to know that I am thankful for you, for always being there for me, even when I didn't say anything. You've been my strength so many times, and I wanted you to hear it clearly from me. I wouldn't be who I am without you." The room erupted in emotion. J-Hope covered his face, overcome by the sincerity of the moment. Suga, usually reserved, wiped his eyes quietly. Even staff members standing at the back were visibly moved. Taehyung, unable to hold back any longer, stood up and embraced Jungkook tightly. The hug wasn't casual, it was desperate, emotional, and filled with years of unspoken gratitude. Cameras may have captured it, but what mattered most was how real it felt to those present. Fans in tears. Later, when snippets of the surprise surfaced online, fans around the world shared their reactions. Comments flooded